Thanks, Steve. We're at Mallala Motorsport Park for a glorious day of motorsport. On the circuit now on their warm-up lap is the Porsche Cup races, and it's good afternoon to Chris Hones.
Yeah, hi Greg. It's great to be over here in South Australia for another round of the Porsche Cup, and fantastic weather. Looking at the grid, few surprises there. One of them, of course, is the fact that Anthony Tratt is so far down, but they ran the blew a motor up in qualifying. They're way back on the grid, and that's a pity for him.
Yep, starting out of 10th position, so Tratt's got his work cut out for him. Coming out of 5th grid position, though, Trevor John. Now, this guy has really come to grips with his new Class A car, and I think he's a man who, well, has got a big future in this game. We had a chat with him a little earlier about how his new car's come around. Trevor John, a man with a new car on a bit of a mission. Now, how long have you been involved with the Porsche Cup?
4 years. 1991 I started with what was a Porsche Cup sprint car that I went in from C class, modified it to B, and now swapped it over with the ex-Peter Fitzgerald car into A class.
So it's a progression from C, B, A.
Yes.
Obviously a lot of fun, the A class cars.
Oh, it's an entirely different world up there. It takes a lot more control, and Fitzy prepared the car very well, and from that point of view, but it's a lot more power and a lot more grip round corners.
Chris, I think it could be relative to the amount of money you spend as to how much fun you're having out there.
Oh, I don't know. Any race car's an expensive proposition, and yeah, it's a big commitment. Nice
start here, though, from Wayne Park, the defending champion. He's gotten the power down and, well, settled himself in very smartly. Morgan in behind him, Witham in behind him, as these guys all try and just settle themselves in. That's Trevor John into 4th place already, so he's picked himself up a spot. Ed Aiken in behind him, so everybody looking to just sort themselves out. Anthony Tratt there, car 44. We talked about him coming from grid position 10. That's Paul Little ahead of him. Oh, Paul Little off to the inside. This could get nasty. Let's see how it pans out. Fortunately, he's okay. He's gone wide. And you can see now Withers here trying to get back onto the circuit. Look, he's looking in the mirror. He's sideways. It's like trying to get back onto the freeway when you've taken the wrong off-ramp. Well, he's back onto the track. Things going okay for him. Wayne Park, though, in the lead. Jeff Morgan, these guys have been battling since the drop of the 1995 season. There's Anthony Tratt sneaking through in 44. Gee, the old Porsche's getting into it already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's no quarter given. I'm just looking at some of the local guys there too. That was Greg Keane in his car. He's getting into it. And look at Wayne Park. He's really throwing it around and warming the tyres up, getting that thing really working in the first lap to try and get an advantage.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to sort of put to you. The fact is these guys run huge rear tyres. It certainly must take a little bit to get the temperature up, to get them working properly.
Yeah, there's different combinations of tyres, compounds, sizes, all sorts of things in Porsche Cup, and that's the art of it, is getting the right package together.
Well, one thing is for sure, there's a great battle going on here. Here's Trevor John right in behind Witham, and at the moment it looks to me as if Trevor John is just trying to work out a way to get around. Now, the difference between John's car and Witham's car is, well, considerable.
Oh yeah, looking at Harry's car there, that's rear engine, rear wheel drive. Look at Trevor John up the inside. It's front engine, rear wheel drive, a whole different package, but they're fairly equal on performance.
Well, it seems to me right at the moment as Trevor John gets up the inside. Boy, oh boy, he's having himself a great race early on. I wonder if he had a couple of problems with qualifying. I didn't hear about anything, but this is a great drive from him. He's already up into 3rd place. Witham back into 4th now. Ed Aiken in the pink machine behind them. And Aiken, he knows his way around the Porsche Cup racing scene. He's been around for a while. This car's quite reliable.
Oh yeah, Ed's car it's been getting better all year actually. It started out a little bit slow, but he's really coming to grips with it. But look at Trevor John really hurtling that thing around. You can see the understeer it's got compared to the rear engine cars that tend to oversteer a bit more.
Yeah, well, the old saying that you can't get any more oversteer than a Porsche when it really comes to the foot into it. Now, these guys all go on a dyno generally before the race meeting. We had a few problems on Friday night, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, some of them go onto the dyno to check their horsepower readings and just to make sure they're running legal, and when one of them was on the dyno, it blew it up. It had that much grunt.
I wonder how much weight you're supposed to carry when the dyno can't cope. It is Wayne Park, Jeff Morgan, Trevor John, 1, 2 and 3. As the guys settle themselves in, Ed Aiken nicely sideways there. Great throttle steering from him. And with him here, having a good look in the mirrors, all you'd see is pink. Wouldn't be hard to miss Ed Aiken's machine. And one more time, it is Jeff Morgan just off screen there. The next one through will be Trevor John with Witham really working him over. And you can see just how tight the circuit is here. really is a power sliding circuit. Would be fairly tough on tyres, I'd say, Chris.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough on tyres, but even more tough on brakes. This is a really, really heavy circuit on braking. And just looking at that, that's an example there of how you really got to stand on at the end of that little straight. Puff of smoke out the back of Harry's car. It's locking up the rears a bit, carried a bit of oversteer into the corner. Yeah, he's really working that thing about as hard as you could.
Yep, the thing's sideways going in, it's sideways coming out. Whoa, mile of smoke here. Now, that looks like Anthony Tratt's machine. The hand goes up, a real problem. Gee, now that's twice they've had an engine problem. Fortunately, he gets off the circuit. Let's hope there's not too much oil on the track, but gee, that is serious. It looks like a blown hose or something. You certainly would not be driving it if you had pistons and rods hanging out of the back of it. Let's hope that that's repairable. Our leader, Wayne Park. You can see the number 1, the reason for that, he's the defending champion. Well, he hasn't had it all his own way for 1995 because he's locked into a points battle with Morgan, who's a Class A car, and Steve Webb from Class B. So it has not been done, run and decided yet. Well, that's Tratt's car in the pits smoking. Hopefully that will be able to be repaired. Now here's a great battle. Richo and Fitzy going at it once again. Class B, these guys, they just never give up.
I know, they're right into it, but you've got to hand it to the guy that is leading it, Steve Webb, leading Class B. I mean, he's beating these blokes, and these guys are, you know, they're Australian champions.
Well, essentially, they're professional drivers, and they really are putting their best foot forward with their Porsches. These guys can run these in production car racing. Harry with them, really showing the crowd here some sideways motoring, and you can see the appreciation there, at least from one of the crowd enjoying the action. Now, he really has been getting the thing sideways, and hey, he's having a good time. Let's not take that from him. The crowd definitely enjoying that style of driving. He's going to have to work pretty hard, though, to get himself further through the field.
Yeah, when you look at the dust that he just brought on, that could cause a few problems for the other guys behind and make it very slippery.
Well, one thing's for sure, the NSAFE machine is going to have to work pretty hard and definitely get the foot in. Spectacular style of driving from Harry Witham. Our leader on the final lap is Wayne Park. Now, this is what he really needs to do today, is just get those points in the bag. Jeff Morgan in 2nd place, Trevor John. Nice drive from him up into 3rd place. So right at the moment, Wayne Park thinking to himself, now, all I've got to do is just bring this thing home, put the points away, because Jeff Morgan, oh, have a look at that. Gee, Parky's determined to make this a stylish show all the way to the flag. A great run from him. What a steerer. As he crosses the line, grabs the checkered flag and takes the win, bags the points, as our man in 2nd place, that is Jeff Morgan, gets across the line. He'd be keen to make sure that he continues to put the points away. And Trevor John gets across for 3rd place.
Yeah, that's a great result to see Trevor get up into 3rd, podium finish. Wayne Park's done it again, but gee, the points are really close now, that's for sure.
Right now, Speed Week and Grundy are giving one lucky viewer the chance to win this fabulous television. Exclusively designed by FA Porsche and valued at $3,600. Plus the chance to win a ride with Chris Hones in the Grundig Racing Porsche. Call 0055 22360 to be in the draw for this valuable prize. You can enter as many times as you want. The winner will be announced on September the 16th. High-tech innovation from Grundig and Porsche.
And from South Australia, we now head to the national capital and some dirt track action. It's over to lane